Welcome back to another book review with Alice. Today we are talking about book 2 in the Fortuna series, which is Restless Slumber. Now, if you have not watched my review on Fortuna, go watch it. Why are you watching a book 2 review without watching book 1? Silly billies. But so, Fortuna is the nightmare. Quick recap. Fortuna is the nightmare that we come into with Fortuna, and then she goes to the unseelie court to save her brother, ends up marrying the king, yada yada yada. Book 2, Fortuna has achieved becoming the proper queen of the unseelie court. So now she's not only married to Collith, but she's actually gone through the extensive process from the unseelies of being declared their actual queen. Because you don't become queen in their court by marrying the king. You have to actually complete your own trials to be worthy of being the queen of the unseelie court, which she does. And clearly she's fabulous, so she rocks it. This one is her coming to grips with one of those careful what you wish for situations. She wanted to be the queen for reasons in order to make sure that she could get back her brother, and she succeeds in that. But now she's got to deal with the ramifications of the fact that she is the queen of the unseelie court. That means she can hear the people, like she has a guard, all the stuff that was not quite what she thought she was signing up for. She's now dealing with that, which makes perfect sense because it's a lot of times we want something for a very specific or clear reason, in her case to save her brother, and then once you get it, it's not exactly what you thought you were signing up for. So she is dealing with the consequences of this in this entire book. There are a little bit of it's kind of weird. They went on like a side adventure where they ended up in the woods when they were looking for her brother's old girlfriend, who was also her friend, who like vanished, and it was weird. Like, okay, I understand why they did it. I'm not going to spoil that for you, but it makes sense that she was in hiding, but whatever. They went on this weird side trip and ended up being like attacked by werewolves, and she ends up like getting this werewolf follows her around named Finn. And even now where I'm reading book 4, Finn's still following her around, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of odd, but all right. So she just like adopts this werewolf and has this random like werewolf following her around, who then becomes a naked guy asleep on the edge of her bed, and everyone just thinks this is normal. I'm like, all right. I don't think it's normal, but okay. So because she's a nightmare and because she's got the powers of the unseelie court now, she is learning to manage these new powers, which she didn't expect to get, which she got as being the queen. And some of them are problematic. They're rather violent. They're chaotic. And so something ends up happening in this book that she desperately, desperately wants to undo. And a big part of the end of the journey of this book is for her trying to figure out some way, using magic, using all of the unseelie powers and options in front of her, to undo something that she did. I know we all have things in our life that we have done that we wish we could take back, and so her journey in this is the epitome of trying to fix and undo this thing that she regrets having happened. And she does find a way to do it, but again, it's one of those it's not what you bargained for situations where she thinks she's getting a hold of something and it's not quite right, and the price she pays is significantly more than she ever thought would be. So read it. This one is significantly darker. What happens, what she does that she needs to undo, what she does to undo it, all of it is way darker. So I will say I would say there's triggers in this one. Let's see what she put in here, because we read the triggers for the first one and some of them were funny, but in this one I feel like they're a little bit more aware. So be aware this novel contains scenes or themes of slavery, because all the unseelies have slaves. That's why the slavery comes in. Profanity, a car accident, violence, domestic abuse, suicide, sex, death, murder, demons, and rape. So if you have any kind of sexual assault trigger, do not read this book. For the love of God, do not read this book. But yeah, so if you like dark and twisty, like I said, this is the series for you. I'm still in book 4 and I'm still reeling on what happens at the end of this book. So, I mean, the consequences of it will carry on forever. So just read it, be ready for it. Know that book 3, which I'm going to review next, exists. So does book 4. I honestly can't remember how many books are supposed to be in this series, but I really need there to be more because I'm really enjoying them. So yeah, dark and twisty. Check out Fortuna and then get yourself Restless Slumber. And thanks for watching, and happy reading.